Now, I think we can all agree that we have had some interesting weeks here on the channel. Some of the recipes I've been doing haven't been that delicious. From the ketchup mustard cake to the weird, overabundant use of hot dogs in places they shouldn't be, I have been hunched over on the couch one too many nights, and that is why today's sponsor is Tums. I'm just kidding, I wish. I've been popping those peppermint ones like candy. But this is why today I wanted to get back on track, back to a wholesome, maybe delicious recipe with Tasty's Ultimate Carrot Cake. The last time I made a cake from the Tasty 101 series was that Ultimate Chocolate Cake, and let's just say I have made it probably over a dozen times since then. This guy looks just as amazing, maybe even better, dare I say, but let's get right into this one. If you would like to make Tasty's triple layered ultimate carrot cake, you're gonna need to grab some granulated sugar and whole wheat flour, some all-purpose flour and light brown sugar, baking soda as well as baking powder, cinnamon and buttermilk, kosher salt, vanilla extract, ground ginger and ground cloves, a couple of eggs, some allspice and nutmeg, about a cup of vegetable oil, and then some of the largest carrots I have ever seen in my entire life. Now that ultimate chocolate cake, like I mentioned, has been made so many times by me for birthdays, holidays. Pretty much all of my family and friends have been able to try it by now. And it's pretty much unanimously agreed upon to be one of the best desserts of all time. I'd even go as far as to say it's right up there with the fudgy brownies, and you know how ridiculous I am about those. This one though starts with 2 pounds of peeled and grated carrots. It seemed like a ton of carrot to me. I have made a carrot cake once before, and I don't think I used this much. I didn't even think I was gonna need all 5 of those carrots that I showed you, but I did. And they get coated in some buttermilk and set aside while we work on everything else. You also want to get your 3 8-inch round pans prepped up with some nonstick spray and parchment paper. I learned this little hack from Rie a while ago, and it has come in handy a lot. Just fold the paper up a couple of times, kind of eyeball where the center of the pan is, and then just snip around the edge. And while I get all the rest of the boring stuff out of the way, the measuring all the dry ingredients and spices, sifting them out, and then creaming up my sugar and eggs, let's just chat. I feel like we haven't just hung out and talked in a little while. I hope you're all doing wonderful and prepping up for a hot girl summer like myself. I've been trying to lose some damn weight because I gained so much over the past few months between the world and all these videos. And I've come down a little bit, thanks to some of you for graciously pointing that out, since when I gain it all, you point it out as well. And that's why there's maybe a tiny shred of myself that wants this cake to be not that great, because I don't want to be picking at it and eating more needless sweets. I just cannot control myself around really good desserts. By the way, the very last thing, I have seen some of your comments asking me to share some of my own recipes. It is coming, so thank you for staying patient, and thanks for the enthusiasm about it. But let's get back on topic for today's video. Your first 4 wet ingredients, your 2 sugars, your eggs, and vanilla get creamed together until you get those nice ribbons that disappear into the mix. You've got to stream in and emulsify an entire cup of neutral oil, whether that be avocado, vegetable, canola. If you're doing this by hand, don't borrow a hand mixer or something, because I imagine this would take a long time. And then finally, we're gonna alternate adding in the dry ingredients and the shredded up carrots, much like we do with the wet and dry ingredients for that chocolate cake. And this was a ton of batter. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit it in my 3 pans. I assume this isn't gonna rise too much. I know there are leaveners in there, but by nature, carrot cake isn't super airy. It doesn't rise like a lot of other cakes, so I think we should be okay. Now, I don't know on what planet Tasty made this video, but they say to bake at 350 degrees for 25 minutes. Almost no cake bakes in 20 minutes. This took almost 45 until a toothpick finally came out clean. And when I let them cool for a couple minutes and chopped the tops of these off, they weren't even completely cooked. So maybe they needed like 50 minutes. That's a pretty big error range, and I don't think my oven is off that much, so maybe it was a typo in the Tasty video. And now we have arrived to the elephant in the room. I can't avoid it any longer. Traditionally, and in this video, you're supposed to use cream cheese frosting. Well, I don't want it. Today, for a recipe I purposely picked to be good, I didn't want to make something I knew I wouldn't like. And this could be a test to see if it works with a different frosting for people who are in the same boat as me. I whipped up a super simple vanilla buttercream with 3 sticks of softened salted butter, and then 6 cups of sifted powdered sugar. This ratio is just something I have found to be perfect that I've learned over the years. As long as your butter is room temp and you absolutely whip the ever-loving heck out of it until it's a super bright white, gradually add in about a cup of sugar at a time, beat in between each addition, and then finish it off with about a 1/4 cup of whole milk and some vanilla. This is like foolproof frosting. I actually forgot that we're not frosting the sides of the cake, so we can kind of show off that caramelized Maillard reaction. So I'm gonna have a lot of frosting left over, but it's really no big deal. One by one, I layered my cakes up onto my cake tray. I was super generous with the frosting because we're not gonna have any on the sides, and I'm just hoping it's going to hold up under the weight of this cake. It didn't end up looking perfect, but I don't think it looks bad. It was probably just my lack of decorating skills coming out again. So I got myself a piece, and finally it is time to try this thing. This smells like the most amazing spiced cake. Like every single one of those spices I put in there is coming through in the smell. I also love how dark the outside of this is. How much all those sugars kind of caramelized against the hot pan. This looks really good. I'm hoping this is also deceptively dense looking. Like there are some air bubbles, but in general it kind of looks dense. I don't think it's going to taste dense, but we'll see. Damn it! I'm so angry because I'm gonna eat this entire thing. This is fantastic. No spice comes out more than another. They all kind of like blend together in a perfect harmony. It's not dense. It's super light. It's got a crumbly texture, but it just melts away in your mouth. And my buttercream is pretty damn good too. I won't even lie to you. The only thing I'm not loving fully about this is the carrot size. It sounds so stupid. Am I getting picky and annoying? Perhaps. That sounds like a stupid thing to complain about. But when you get like a bunch of carrot like this, some of the pieces in there are so large from the sides of the carrot and the side of the grater that I used, that once all the cake kind of like melts away, you almost have a little bit of texture and like slight al dente-ness to chew on. I don't think that's normal in carrot cake. If it is, I'm sorry I don't enjoy it that much. But next time I'll just like coarsely chop through the shreds of carrot and that should fix that problem. Other than that, this is freaking phenomenal and I highly recommend you give it a shot. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave me a big old like. Let me know what recipes you'd like to see me test on the channel next. Follow me over on Twitter and Instagram if you don't already. And other than that, have a fantastic weekend and I'll see you right back here next time. Peace. With the M without the AD. Flipping burgers and my money super lazy. Try and make a meal tonight, they ain't paying me. Try and supersize my life with my 18. Yeah, our style wasn't wavy, but we had a vision.